Okay, I'm finally in. So sorry for the delay. I had major issue with my computer. Was not able to log in. But I got new password. It's working. So we're good. So I see Dr. Cheon, Richard, Sam, Yuhi, Liam, Shuhi, Eugene. All right, welcome. Been a while. So, hope you all had good Thanksgiving. Um, Okay. Let me see. Who has to leave first? Let me see. Sam, are you able to give us update or?
Yeah, I can give an update.
Yeah.
So I mean, things have been moving a little bit slow since I'm starting things up. Um, so sorry, let me just pull up some of my notes. So starting with the neoadjuvant project that we had talked about last week,
Mhm.
we're still in the process of trying to get an actual list together of patients to be included in the study.
Uh-huh.
And we had discussed last time reaching out to, I think her name was Mary Carnes,
Uh-huh.
who helped get that lung transplant list together.
Mhm.
I did reach out to her and I haven't heard back yet, so hopefully I'll hear it back from her soon. Um, I had talked to a couple of my friends who actually are also medical students and had been doing similar projects, and they thought it might be easier for us to find a list of patients who had had neoadjuvant therapy and then went on to get surgery. So I don't know if in the med onc department there would be some sort of list like that of lung cancer patients who had had neoadjuvant therapy. Do you know if that would exist?
No, it's all manual. You have to it go into every chart to find it. I mean, there's
Okay.
no way, we're not registering them as neoadjuvant.
Okay.
Um,
I also reached out to her name is Dr. Yeldani. She's
mhm.
from thoracic pathology.
Yeah.
So I told her what our project was and exactly what we were looking for. And she recommended we look into the pathology core. That's
Uh-huh.
not something I've worked with before. I'm not sure if that's something you need funding for. Have you worked with the core before?
Pathology core.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we worked with them before.
Okay. Is that something that you need funding to use?
I mean, if it's just getting a list, I mean, it's if it's about actually getting the material
Yeah.
and process it, of course you have to pay for them. But just getting, I don't know if they will charge you for just getting the list. I mean,
Okay. Because I
yeah, if it's about getting information, let's say list, and they have extracted patients, some data, then you can pay for the data, but it's just the list.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. But you're more than welcome to explore and find the ways to get it. And if it requires any fee, I'm more than happy to pay.
Okay. Okay, I'll reach out to them today then and see if they'd be helpful. And then, like I said, I reach out to Mary Carnes and haven't heard back yet. So hopefully,
Like,
fingers crossed.
yeah, just CC me.
Okay.
And Dr. Che asked to reach out to you to see if there's a way to use the thoracic surgery. Uh, okay, if not, then Liam, you can work with Sam to just email Dr. Ankit Bharat directly. And just he's the chairman of thoracic surgery, so he might direct us to the right people. And just CC me and say, we're doing this project with Dr. Che, and Dr. Che definitely want you to be involved in this project because this is about neoadjuvant followed by surgery and how pathology is explained. Pathologic CR is linked with immune microenvironment of the tumor. Um, so Yeah, that'll be the next step if you don't hear back from her.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, those are kind of the big updates for that project. Still just kind of working on trying to find the patients that we need.
Yeah,
Um,
and
and then,
you can start like, background reading, like
oh yeah,
what is the signature and, how is it applied in other tumor types, but the more importantly, what has been actually done in lung cancer space in
yeah,
neoadjuvant, not much work has been done. So that's why we have to be the pioneer.
yeah, okay. And then Liam and I talked yesterday about the REDCap project.
Yeah,
So I showed him all of the data that we had, everything that was already in REDCap. And then we were discussing sort of where it was left off. And it sounds like Liesel had collected 20 or so patients, sent those pathology slides over to Lunit, and then there was some kind of pause.
right.
And just to confirm, I did email her just so that we could touch base specifically about it. Were those 20 patients from the REDCap cohort?
I don't think so. I think 20 patients were from our own pathology department list.
Okay.
Because what we did is we asked, just like Dr. Yeldon did, we have Dr. Alex, I forgot his last name. What is it that Liam? Uh, he goes by Alex. Anyway, he's another lung pathologist. And we asked him, can you, from this year to this year, can you identify, lung cancer patients that we actually have slides stored here in NMH? Because outside patients, we have their slides returned, so we don't have access
Right.
to them. So
Yeah.
so that's where we got the list. But anyway, the whole idea is whatever you guys done in the REDCap, we don't want to duplicate any efforts, like, because there's going to be a lot of overlapping patients.
Yeah. I think we had a list of like 1,600 patients. I think only like 300 met eligibility criteria for at least what we were trying to do.
Mhm.
Which I mean, that's a decent size cohort.
Right.
Um,
And do you remember what our eligibility criteria was? Was having like slide?
yeah, so our eligibility criteria were obviously lung cancer, biopsy proven lung cancer. They were treated with immunotherapy. They had a CT or PET CT within 3 months of therapy, starting immunotherapy.
Right.
I think those were the criteria.
Got it. Do you remember roughly what year interval?
Yes, I have it. Let me just look really quick. I want to say it was like 2015 to 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, 2015 to 2019.
Okay. Wow, it's 3-year-old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, another thing about these types of research is that, in that time frame, we used to use immunotherapy as second line. Now everyone is using it front line.
Yeah.
I mean, we can still learn about what immunotherapy can do and what the biomarkers are, but it just becomes more and more outdated as time goes by.
Got it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I don't know. So the goal is work with Liam, and whatever you and other colleagues of you our lab members at that time collected, let's make sure they can be used for same your project or other projects. I mean, let's kind of make that as a consolidated database.
Yeah.
Whether RedCap is the most ideal, or I think ESO went back to using just Excel file with password protection.
Yeah.
For I think for the ease of access or something. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, that has to be the continued discussion.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
We
any other
collected
questions?
quite a bit of data for it, so I think it's still usable.
And for RedCap, we're not paying for that, right?
No.
And for that list, do you remember how we got the list, the initial list?
Um, I think we had two separate lists, and I honestly don't know where where they came from because John had given those to me.
Okay.
Um, I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere, but at the top of my head, I don't remember how we actually got them.
Yeah. Dr. Firas is our like a database person. And sometimes he's the one who extracts data from Epic. Like from like, but it has to be like diagnosis code, billing code.
Mhm.
But sometimes that's not accurate, and there's so many different billing codes. And that service I actually pay for his service.
Got it.
But that you get so many patients. Like there's a lot of stage 1 lung nodules that you follow up. So just opening charts and screening takes a long time. But actually, that's why actually patients who have had surgery, you just have to figure out did they actually get chemo or not. So that's an easier list.
Yeah.
Because if you go with the chemo list, let's say from the pharmacy, there's much more stage 4 patients than actually patient who gets surgery. So I still think you're better off with getting like to people because we need access to the slides anyway. So
Right.
it has to be, so Yal Dandi or Alex, like these people are the right, you work with Yal Dandi because she's great and she can help you identify, who actually has surgical samples.
Yeah.
So it's not just the biopsy slide. We actually need the surgical sample to say if there's a PCR or not, right? So, but then does PathCore has it, or if the surgery biobank, if they have it in their bank, then tissue bank, then we should work with them. So that's why I want to start with surgery department, but let's figure out who can be of most help, pathology department or surgery department.
Okay. Okay. I'll reach out to both and just kind of see who seems to be the right person. And
Right. And Yaldandi and Dr. Barat just, CC me and, to tell them it's coming from me that I want to explore.
okay. All right. That sounds good.
Good, good, good. But it's a really good topic. Keep reading, and because the more you know, the better you'll be in, writing about it and
Yeah.
motivated about this. Okay. And Dr. Jian is doing the same thing in breast cancer. So she'll help you find the right reference and all that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great.
Dr. Che, for the RedCap project, is the goal still to get the path slides and scanned to send to Lunit?
So RedCap can be used for many different projects, like heterogeneity project, like a Guardant or Tempest or Oncocyte. It's a platform to, query, I guess, organize patient data and then query those data. Whether it's radiomics, pathomics, but see if it's I mean, so because every time we do another project, we're like looking into different Excel files and try to merge and organize them. It's just a lot of work. So let's say whatever Dr. Chi-Sang Yu has for his radiomics project, we can see, what are the overlap, like his data and the RedCap data. So the whole point is not to duplicate. And like every time we do another project, we're trying to like, find a, make a new Excel file. But if it's all there, like anything we collected, if we can sort of consolidate it in one space, and it's a nice platform to extract data, like only the variables you need, you can kind of download it as an Excel file, right?
Sam, just to clarify, so this REDCap patient list is Leary Cancer Center, right? And or is it specific to Dr. Chase patients only?
No, it was not just Dr. Chase patients. I think it was like anyone from Lurie. Again, I forget where exactly the list came from. I can look into it, but yeah, no, not just Dr. Che.
Yeah, because most of the like Excel sheets, with the other projects we've been using is specifically Dr. Chase patients only.
Mhm.
Which
So
doesn't have to be. It can be any of the NMH patient. I think a lot of them were my patient because I was the only one ordering Guardant and Tempus at that time.
mhm.
But for radiomics, it doesn't have to be. It's an institutional IRB.
Okay, and then just one more thing, Sam. I think we had mentioned that one of the goals with the REDCap project was to get the slides out to Luna. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, so I mean, so back when we started the REDCap project, like Dr. Chase said, we were trying to create like a database where we would put pretty much all patient information so that when
Yeah.
if I was working on a project or you were working on a project, if we had overlap patients, then
Yeah.
we could like share the data and it would make less work for each other.
Mhm.
With one of the goals being using this data to do the radiomics analysis, pathomics analysis. But I think what happened is I started my third year of medical school and then people kind of came and went. So it kind of paused. And then it sounds like other pathomics projects were happening. So I think that was one of the goals, but it sounds like maybe things are a little bit outdated now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how we can update that list then.
Yeah, no, that
Separately.
sounds great.
All right. Thank you.
All right, very good.
Thanks.
Happy to have you on board, Sam.
Yeah, of course. Anything else I can help with, let me know. I've got free time.
Yeah. Yeah, but in the meantime, you can work with Dr. Jian as well, because she's like I said, she has similar breast cancer project. But more and like there's not just the lymphocyte infiltration, but is it the tertiary lymph node structure? Is it T cells, B cells? What are actually important factors determining good response? And what have others been doing in terms of how to measure it better? And what was like the tight correlation, and how did it correlate with different therapies? There's immunotherapy only, there's chemotherapy only, there's immunochemo, and was correlation much different between therapies? All these things are good discussion points. And we, in lung cancer field, we've used to do just 4 cycles of chemotherapy only. Now we're doing chemo immuno together. Now we have both data, so we can compare in real world. Yeah, this is I think it's a gold mine. It's a very big project, but obviously, as with any project, it takes time to get to the right person and build database. But in order to do the right analysis, we have to stand on the shoulders of the giants, right? Like we have to know what others have actually done. Like, so this is the time to do it when like waiting for the
Right.
Okay, very good, Sam. Okay, let's see. Richard, do you have any update?
Yeah, I have a few. So
Wait. I think Juhi is in Korea time. So
okay.
let's
Yeah.
see if we can go first.
Oh, I finished submitting the review article and I wanted your advice on what next to do. Like, should I send an email out to the editor I was in contact with? Like, tell her, like, give her a heads up that we finished submitting it, or should I just be quiet? Like, I don't know what next to do.
I think the editors are notified automatically once you submit, so.
Oh,
yeah,
they do? Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So
So
it's
just,
just wait.
I would suggest, because the
Mhm.
emails get to me, but sometimes it gets buried in like spam email or something.
Okay.
So maybe every 2-3 weeks, just go in to the
Oh, okay.
submitted, and sometimes there's a letter to the authors or something
Mm-hmm.
like a reply.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then it will say, oh, you didn't use this, format, please revise and resubmit. Or
Oh, really?
you got, yeah. There's,
I would be happy to revise and resubmit. I'm just worried about that. But yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, maybe
okay.
for the first 1 month, go in every week and see if they have any comments for us. They send out emails to corresponding author, which is me, but it just gets buried a lot.
Okay.
So, I think it should be, your responsibility to check it and resubmit it, and if,
Mhm.
yeah, that way we don't, lose track very early.
Okay. Yeah. That was it. I just wanted to ask you what I could do next. But that was it.
Yeah, but great job actually submitting it. It takes a lot
It
more
took forever. I didn't.
to actually submit it, right? So how many months have, since you left our lab here, is it, how long did it take?
Since I left in June. So
Wow.
it was like a while. It's funny because we finished everything, but the submitting process itself took 3 weeks.
Right.
It was, it was yeah.
Yeah. So, it's like more you do it, you'll be better.
Yes. Now I know what I need to submit.
If it's first time, you have no clue like what it involves.
Yeah. It
Uh,
was a good experience. Thank you for that.
no problem. So meta-analysis for early multi-cancer early detection assay.
Mhm.
We haven't seen anybody doing it, so
Haven't yet.
I envision that the reviewers will say, well, you can't do meta-analysis with different assays. And
Uh,
so we're gonna, we know the answer to this. We're gonna say this is proof of concept, and somehow we have to do this. We can't just say every essay is different.
Mhm.
Um, so I think we'll just have to come up with a philosophical answer, not like
Yeah,
the
true.
statisticians will be more like a purist, and we'll see if they don't like it. We just have to quickly find another journal. I think
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
going to be a difference in opinion. But
Yeah, there were other journals who replied back to our initial queries, so hopefully we can reach out to them after.
yeah, there is definitely interest in this field. It's
Yeah,
so fast.
yes, we'll see how that goes. But I
Yeah.
feel like if it's gonna be next year, I think we need to repeat the review process. So that's my worry,
Yeah.
because it's next year.
They're coming out now, right? These, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Other than that, that was it. I just wanted to tell you.
Yes. So I want to just give you a perspective.
Mhm.
Um, mm, so we focus on ctDNA, but I think
Uh-huh.
Dr. Jian, like if you, let's say, let's talk about early cancer detection market in South Korea. They have proteomics, like, tumor markers, not
Oh,
just CA-125, CA-19-9,
uh-huh.
but it's just becoming part of the whole blood panel of
Mm,
like general health screening.
mhm,
So they don't have cancer. So you're not using that as a track marker, but it is just becoming a big market. And company like Vertice, which we're trying to collaborate with. It's a proteomics company located in San Diego. They got Korean FDA approval for breast cancer proteomics marker, and all these like health screening center in Korea, like a big centers, actually
Yeah.
use them and sell them to patients as
Oh.
like a panel mammogram, and then it's like a proteomic marker.
Uh-huh.
And it's expensive. It's like a couple $100 for one blood draw for that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they just sell it as a package. So if you go
Oh.
and like, oh, I want like the best deal, like package, like, and it's all included, and this company is making money out of this. And there's no way US FDA will approve this. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you know, this is just the example of how social or economic or the regulatory environment has so much to say in what's actually going to be
Mhm.
adapted in that society or not.
Mhm.
And Korea is very different. Like people go and just get PET. Like I need to know if I have cancer, and I want you to order PET, and you can get it.
Yes,
Okay?
that's true.
And it's cheap,
Yeah.
like cheaper than United States.
That's true, yeah.
It's a very different environment, and
Mhm.
I guess academically kind of understanding this, like Julie, especially you coming from the sociology background or economics background, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Such an interesting topic. And
Mhm.
and just and then technologically, like how does the protein marker get into market, and what is its role, and is it really helping? What is the efficacy or accuracy of detection? And understanding
Mhm.
that is really interesting. Yeah, but America is a different market. You have to show that I think the consumers will select the right one.
Mhm.
But they don't know. This is different
Yeah.
than Samsung, LG TV. This is like you use it and then people write reviews.
No, that's true.
It's almost like we physicians are going to be the reviewers. Because they don't have knowledge about proteomics or ctDNA. So
Mhm.
and understanding, because they'll just advertise, oh, we have 99.9% concordance, or you know what they do with these
Mhm.
advertisements. So
Yeah.
but they have no idea what's better, what is an overstatement. So I think our review, our expertise as we learn this field will really help consumers in the field. So just yeah, I mean, I think you and Liam and other members will I hope you can stay interested, remain
Mhm.
as an expert in this field as you develop your career, because this is really growing fast.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So my suggestion is keep reading.
Mhm.
Still, like even after you submitted it, keep
Yeah.
reading. Oh, so like I can easily see Liam, Eugene, or Juhi, or Richard. Well, Dr. Che, I found that actually the trial that we've been following, they have like preliminary result out. They published their data.
Yeah,
Free
true.
to let me know, just text me and I'll say, let's present that in our next lab meeting. And you can give us like, 5-minute presentation of the updated MCED result from certain companies, and we can kind of
Mhm.
discuss that as we go. So that's how we kind of keep track of what's happening in the field. Like,
Yeah.
it shows that we're not writing paper for the sake of writing paper and putting something in your CV. We're actually interested in this field because it impacts human lives.
Mhm.
It saves lives, okay?
Yeah.
Prevention is always the best way to save lives than actually helping stage 4 patients live like a couple months longer. So I
Mm.
think we can I'll be happy to be out of job, but then
Oh.
we can make living by being expert in essays. Essays will sell. I mean, for the better of our patients. I don't want to make living out of patients, because
Oh.
of I think keeping the status quo, like you know what I mean.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
like even Dr. Jiyoung is working towards people getting no surgery, chemo, and then
Wow.
you don't need surgery if you have pathologic CR. So she's willing to give up surgery and
Oh my goodness.
There are several clinical trials running, and now the result is upcoming very soon. Yeah. And in Korea, actually, there is a clinical trial to skip the surgery for the breast. Well, actually, Seoul National University is the lead of the skip the breast surgery, and Samsung Medical Center is the leader of the skip the
Oh my
axillary
goodness.
surgery. When they combine, then I'm gonna lose my job,
so
but I'm
yeah,
still happy.
it's so interesting, and breast surgeons are leading this trial.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, we're
Interesting.
whatever, because for patients, it's still invasive surgery.
Mhm.
It
And
is.
if the medical therapy clears cancer cell, then but we don't know the answer until we do the randomized trial, right? So yeah. Well, anyway, less invasive prevention is the trend.
Mhm.
And using AI, using multi-omics is the answer, and using the Path AI radiomics,
Mhm.
whatever we can to better predict cancer occurrence, recurrence, and better therapy selection is what we're striving for. Okay, so enough of the future talks.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Anything
Yeah.
else?
That's it for me. I'm just gonna try to focus on editing the book for now. Yeah.
All right, great, thank you.
All right.
Richard, let's go back to you.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been working on the phase 2 Nivo Yippee trial.
Yeah,
I finished data collection for like the chart reviewing part, like looking at Tempest and Epic for do you want to look at that first, or should I show
yeah,
the
show me.
stuff? Okay.
You can share your screen.
Yeah. Okay, so I got all the patient information. There are 24 of them. And then I went into Epic and looked at PDL1 expression if it was there, and then a platelet count, neutrophil, lymphocyte count, and the ratio between them two. I haven't done any like statistics on it yet, but this is what I have for now. I have data of C1, D1, 2. And then for Garden and Tempest, I like could not find much information. There were only a couple of patients who I could see like on the website who actually got that sequencing done. Do you think it's enough to like talk about it at all or not?
It's so few, right?
Yeah.
I think you can mention, oh, it's how many patients? Like if you combine them, it's 4.
4. Yeah.
Or so you can make like a small table for 4 patients, like
Mhm.
what their mutations were, and put that in the supplemental data.
Okay. For the AACR or for like the actual like manuscript?
Actual manuscript.
Okay. Yeah.
For ACR, it's just really a small number. But I mean, anything interesting from?
None of them had any like pathologic or likely pathologic pathogenic variants. They're all like somatic, like potentially actionable variants, some biologically relevant, nothing like super interesting, I would say.
Yeah, so if you read cite my review paper in the actual paper you write.
Mhm.
Adenoid cystic carcinoma. There's a review paper that I
Yeah, 2016, I think.
guy talks about like a driver fusion, the MYB.
Mhm.
You click on the next the left column.
Yeah.
If you can, oh yeah, if you see that, right? MYB location. So you can kind of briefly mention by doing blood ctDNA, we found this fusion, 4 out of, you could kind of mention that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
It was in this one too. This patient had it too. Yeah, I can talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
And then should I include
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you can, because you're looking at, so see if NLR corresponds with PFS, OS, if the curve separates,
mhm.
or by NLR. Well, I guess what is the response rate? Is there 0 or was that one patient?
There was one patient, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, one patient is too small to do by response. So just I guess PFS OS curve separation. Let's see, NLR greater than 5 or less than 5. Platelets above median, lower median. You can do neutrophil count just above median, below median too.
Mhm.
You can do that. PD-L1, you can just describe it, like, out of how many patients tested, how many, what was the percentage of positive versus negative or something like that.
Okay.
You can just, yeah, describe it. Yeah.
Should I include any of those in the AACR abstract too?
Yeah.
Or
You can.
okay. Should I focus on like the NLR or
Yeah, because that you have all the data.
okay. Yeah, I'll ask Eugene about a little bit of help with that too.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so that's that. I can show you the abstract now if you want.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Okay, so I made the changes you mentioned last time in lab meeting. Except it kind of made the results section kind of like a little bit long. Is it like too long and clunky? I wasn't really sure. I separated it into 2 paragraphs too. Is that 2200 out of 2600 characters?
Looks fine to me.
Okay. BMS got back to us and they approved it. So
Good.
good.
Yeah, I think it reads fine. And if you, well, I guess you can kind of 95 confidence interval 1 to not reached. There's a way, maybe Well, I guess you have 350 to add some of the biomarkers in here. Yeah,
Should I add a table or like a description of what we found for the biomarkers?
this description's fine.
Description.
Can you go back to the title? All anatomic sites of origin. In non-anatomic. So I think it's rather long, so adenoid cystic and non-adenoid cystic carcinoma malignant tumor. I think that's too long. I think it better, like, how about other malignant tumors of salivary gland? Because that's like none,
Like that?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Okay.
Or as you said in the introduction, other salivary gland carcinomas. Or other salivary gland tumors is fine. Other malignant tumor, other cancer, malignant tumor. Yeah, malignant salivary gland tumors. That shorter and simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And
Yeah,
then
almost there. Yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I added information on median overall survival and progression-free survival. So should I take out 6-month progression-free survival in IPFS 6 and OS at 6 months or not?
So definitely for the manuscript, you need it, but if you need to put in more biomarker
Mhm.
information,
Yeah, word count.
then you can. Oh, yeah. So here's you put adenoid cystic carcinoma ACC.
Mm-hmm.
I would put ACC at the title, adenoid cystic carcinoma, and then put ACC there in the title.
Okay.
And then from the introduction, like change everything into ACC,
Oh yeah.
from the title.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll write that down.
Yeah. That way you save space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then even after you do some tricks to to condense things, then if you still need more space for biomarker, then you can take it out. But if you don't need more space, you can keep it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I think it's good.
Okay. Thank you. I will add the biomarker information and then hopefully should be good to submit then.
Yeah, let's try to get it out next week.
I think we can't submit until like mid-December, that's when it opens, but I'll do it once I can, as soon as I can.
Because you need to send to BMS one more time because they need to have a finalized version.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then we have to send to the other authors
Mm-hmm.
because those authors are who actually enrolled patients into the trial.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, we need their kind of permission or okay sign. So that's all just like turnaround time of a couple weeks. So
Sounds good.
great. Anything else, Richard?
No, that's all from me for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Are you still maintaining your interest in oncology?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely still am. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, so
Very
many
cool
new
stuff.
things coming out. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool to work on a clinical trial too. So yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's definitely more coming out. So yeah. Okay. Eugene, I think you are in Korean timeline, so let's do you first.
Okay, thank you for giving me an opportunity to present first. So regarding the abstract that Richard just presented, I have a quick input.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So actually this is my fault. I sent my table to Richard to to help him refer which variables that he should collect. But
Yeah.
then I recently found out this article written by Champia, and he looked at a little bit more biomarkers than us. For example, like although the results are not that significantly different among the HPD and non-HPD patients, but still he looked at other than just lymphocytes and neutrophils like CRP, fibrinogen, and LDH and albumin. So, and I understand that Richard has, if he has enough time to collect these variables as well, because there are only like less than 20 patients, I think. So if you think this is worth to do it, I mean, I recommend him to look at these variables as well.
But we don't have CRP, fibrinogen, LDH. We
Oh,
don't.
really? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If we don't, then yeah, let's just.
And albumin's not. So so the practical thing you can do is yeah, for ACC it's hard to say who's responder,
Oh,
not responder.
okay. Then that's good.
Yeah, but this, I
I
mean,
see.
but here, look, age, older you get. See, how do you explain this? If you're older, your immune system is compromised. See, there's a direct relationship. If you get COVID, if you're old, your mortality goes up like this. If you're old, your cancer incidence goes up like this. If you're old, even if you get pneumonia, your mortality goes up. So same thing, even if you get immunotherapy, if you're old, you have immune suppression in your body. So you're more likely to have hyperprogression if you're older. Does that make sense to you?
Kind of. But while looking at the mechanism of immune hyperprogression, I think actually immune suppression, I'm not sure whether actually immune suppression directly cause hyperprogression or not. But I agree, generally agree with you in that age could be in any way affects our immune system, and that could be related to the hyperprogression. But unfortunately, our data was not able to show that, but these data showed that. So I think, yeah, I think you're right. Age might be correlated with hyperprogression in any way, but I'm not sure about the mechanism itself.
So what do you believe in? What is your, what mechanism do you believe in?
Oh, actually, I'm studying that right now, but and I'm a little bit confused because there are so many like immune cells in tumor microenvironment. I just started to look at closely to them, like each components, and I'm a little bit overwhelmed by, you know, the dynamics of them, still figuring out the exact mechanism. But yeah, I'll give you an update when I have a solid answer.
Okay, I'm gonna give you homework then. I think Minjung actually did it before. Minjung, she, if you go back to
Yes.
our recorded
Yes,
session,
he did. Yeah.
she gave a very nice overview
Right,
of the
right, right.
mechanism of hyperprogression. And
Yeah,
she,
I'll
I
study
think
that.
she-
Yeah.
she used the word overwhelmed too. And sometimes it becomes like a belief system. Like Susan Topalian or Drew Padal, these are the Johns Hopkins immunology gurus. They write Nature paper, Science, NEJM papers, okay? And if you ask them, do you believe in hyperprogression? Do you know the mechanism of hyperprogression? They both, I asked them directly in their face. They said, I don't believe in hyperprogression. I don't think there's such a mechanism, okay? So this is becoming almost like a belief system. You understand? So,
Yeah.
but if you ask Dr. Taekwon Kim, he's also expert in immunotherapy. His mentor discovered PD-L1. Okay. Li-Ping Chen at Yale University. So he says he believes in macrophage theory because
Yeah,
M1
macrophage.
is immune system stimulant, M2 is immune suppressive. If you activate M2 by giving PD-L1, there can be hyperprogression. That's what
Right.
okay?
Right.
So I don't know if you say you don't believe in immune suppression as a theory. Immune suppression is such a vague word.
Right.
I think as a scientist, we're all physician scientists, by the way. You know, I don't consider you as just doctors or wannabe doctors, but we're all scientists by heart, and that's why we're talking about these. Like, how do we interpret data? Like, is this just random luck, or is this actually a trend that we see that reveals the truth? What is the truth? That's why we do science. Now, the idea is that if we understand the driver of hyperprogression, can we use that to, number one, better predict who's going to have hyperprogression and avoid that?
Right.
Number two, if they have hyperprogression, can we reverse that? We kind of know the answer. What is the answer that we found from our own study? If you add chemotherapy, you can reverse it. So don't just give immunotherapy alone, but if you add chemo, the hyperprogression phenomenon disappears. So that's
Right.
wow. You know, what does chemo do that the immunotherapy can't do? So that's why understanding at the cellular level what's going on is super important. But
Right.
this takes a lot of time, like really reading deep science
Right.
papers. And that's what Minjung did. But I want you to take extra time, discuss with Minjung, and maybe both of you can represent what is, and then you have to show us conviction. Like, Like, number one, do I believe in hyperprogression? Is there such a thing? Number two, if there's such a thing, what is my hand-picked best theory? Like, I would actually, if there's like 5 theories explaining it, you know, some people explain it by T regulatory cells. Some people
Right.
explain it by neutrophils. Some people explain it by something else. But what has the best evidence? You know, what theory would you pick and what is your rationale? Can you compare each theories and tell us why you picked this theory? So this is a very good intellectual exercise. This is what will take you to
Agree.
next level. Because I don't want you to like, oh, this is what my attending told me to do. And just, you know,
I know.
Uni, show me your can you read, Eugene, can you read it for us?
Me?
Yeah,
Read what?
read Uni's shirt.
Oh, I. I'm
Okay,
looking
maybe
at-
Richard.
Oh,
Richard.
my attending made me call you.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't want to do this consult. Like, I've been in that situation, so I understand. So I like that. I think it's hilarious. You know, like, because you're kind of made to do stuff. So
Right.
science has to be your own free will. Will. Uni, are you here for vacation or for research? Both?
I would say both. Like, yeah, I'm meeting all these friends from labs, and but I would be definitely interested in learning more.
So, I think you're the second after Horyun. Horyun was here for his vacation time. So she and prior to it with Dr. Horyun Choi used up their own vacation time, like to come to lab and learn research. And I think it's amazing and shows how committed you guys are. And of course, you'll meet your old friends and enjoy time here in Chicago, obviously that, but just to come to lab and stay here to learn, I think it's amazing. But my point is going back, science is all, you know, has to be coming from your like your own motivation, your desire to know truth. Like, what's actually going on? Like, I don't want to be the person like my attending telling me, hey, go and collect this variable, put that in the Excel spreadsheet, and that's your job. Well done.
True.
Like,
True.
and you're gonna say you're involved in research, but like, what do you know about the research? Like, you know, unless you actually delve into the topic and like, is it going to be my personal conviction? Like, do I actually believe in the theory?
Right.
Like, I can ask Richard, like, do you actually believe that there is such thing as multi-cancer early detection assay? Is it all, you know, fake and someone trying to make money out of it, you know? Like, do I actually believe the data? Like, you have to scrutinize the data. So let's hear from Richard. Do you believe in the assay?
Yeah, I think I believe in it. I mean, if like there's like other like protein antigen assays for cancer, you know, I think this is like, if anything, maybe even better than some of them. So the
Good,
numbers work out.
good. So let's go back to Eugene. Do you believe in hyperprogression, Eugene?
I believe in, but I'm not sure about the mechanism. And after finding out there are so many factors or cells involved in that kind of phenomenon,
Yeah.
I got so overwhelmed whether like even like would it be possible to actually like dissect all the like roles of these different cells and figuring out the like priority or hierarchy or like crosstalks between each of them. Like, to me that looks so hard, but I'm hopeful. I mean, so I'm trying to actually study each of the subgroups of the cells, their roles, and you know that's revealed up until now. And I do remember Dr. Taegon actually mentioned that he he put a lot of emphasis on macrophage, and yeah, I'll have a look at it. But there's, I mean, so far I think there are so many things to be rebuilt, either by like clinically or in like in mice level or preclinical studies. I think that it's very exciting area, personally.
Yeah, so I think this is a potential hypothesis for, so who wrote this paper? Go back.
This is just the paper that I found while writing the manuscript for HPD, and I mean I was attracted to this article because of this figure, showing the overall like players in this phenomenon.
Yeah. So let me explain a little bit. So it's just really bad prognosis, very old, very immune suppressed patient, subclone with specific mutation. So some clones can be activated by immunotherapy. What an idea. Like this is, so
Right.
delve into this, like what is the actual case? Immunogenic subclone selected by chemotherapy. So if you give chemotherapy, you kind of select certain clone that are chemo resistant, but they can be really non-immunogenic. T helper 17, they're pro-inflammatory factors, and they can actually make cancer cells grow. Tumor-associated dendritic cell modulate microenvironment through usually IDO. ILC3 enhances immune suppression. IL-17, 22, GM-CSF. You know, GM-CSF is here. This is what? Neulasta, Neupogen. Uni, what is Neupogen? Have you heard of Neupogen? Or GM-CSF?
It's to boost the ANC.
To boost
The-
white blood cell lineage as a whole. So if you give that, you're going to have hyperprogression. If you give Neupogen, Neulasta, you can cause hyperprogression. You know, so that I changed my practice based on so there's in breast cancer, there's a dose dense regimen. So you have to give GM-CSF to make that dose dense. Otherwise, there's gonna be so much neutropenia or neutropenic fevers. But now we're arguing, if you give that artificially, you can cause a lot of neutrophils to cause immune suppression on tumor and make the tumor grow faster. So one can look to see, how does dose dense regimen, affect my immune microenvironment. That's a good, research topic. So I don't give Neupogen anymore as a default. I only give it actually when the neutropenia happens. You know what I mean? I used to try to be more preventive and help patients. Now I realize by trying to help them, I'm doing more harm. If I make their neutrophil go higher, the response to immunotherapy goes down, the risk of hyperprogression goes up. So the more science you know, you can change your clinical practice based on your scientific conviction.
Understood, yeah.
Okay. PD-1 plus Treg expansion suppresses anti-tumor cell activity. So PD-L1 positive M2 are very important. Tumor-associated macrophages or M2 like PD-L1 positive cells promote tumor growth. So this is counterintuitive. Like a macrophage can actually make tumor grow faster. So study that. And that's usually through IL-10 and TGF-beta. And the most importantly, I believe in the H and I theory, PD-1 antibody FC portion. So some antibodies have FC portion, some antibodies do not. So FC portion interacts with FC gamma R and compromises anti-tumor activity. So there's an experiment that shows that the Nivo, Atezo, all these like FC portions, if they engineer these antibody to take out this FC portion, then there's no hyperprogression seen.
Mm.
It's about a drug. If you engineer the drug, you're not going to be able to see it anymore. So there's a perfect paper showing that. It's coming from a researcher, I think it's a Chinese researcher at University of Wisconsin. And you see more hyperprogression in EGFR mutant lung cancer. And why is that? And that can also be explained through this
Mm.
phenomenon. And then the MDSC, definitely. They induced immune suppression by metabolic pathways. So arginine, ROS, and PGE2, they're all involved. So it's complicated, but there's gotta be the main factor, okay? It's not going to be it's all one slide, they're gonna be 10%, 10%, no. And they could be one can be 90% in breast cancer, and the other can be 90% in lung cancer.
Got it.
Histology specific. So it's complicated, but what is the main factor and how can we measure this? Like I would say if you measure M2 concentration in a tumor using AI, Lunit, like I think that might be really good. Like if you really believe M2 is really the main factor. But how do you know? You have to read the papers. So anyway, my point is, the other thing is, let me tell you about an experiment. Metformin can kill cancer cells. Okay, metformin. I'm talking about diabetic drug. And I've written a review paper on this. This is real thing. Now, if your immune surveillance intact or not intact is important. Like, how do you know if they're intact or not? You can manipulate that. How do you manipulate that? You can make the SCID mice, no immune system whatsoever. Thymus, everything's gone, no T cells. Okay, and then they have to live in an aseptic environment. So that mice and immunogenic mice, if you inject cancer cell into both mice, they will all grow on a sub-Q injection. But if you feed that mice with metformin, the cancer stops growing in regular mice, but it keeps growing in the immune compromised mice. So all like 100% of mechanism of action for metformin is not mTOR pathway, but it's through immune pathway. Okay. And the metformin will protect you from having cancer. Like even if you inject cancer cells in the blood, they don't metastasize if the rats are fed with metformin. So what I'm trying to tell you is immune mechanism is really important, fascinating. And we call hyperprogression. So let's say if our immune system is gone, our cancer will be growing much faster, maybe 10 times faster. So just taking the brake off will make tumor grow really fast. And we think, well, how can a drug make cancer grow fast? You know, that's our thinking. Like, we are not making cancer grow faster than its natural speed, but the natural speed of cancer with zero immune surveillance may be much faster. If we are taking immune system off, immune suppression by M2, Treg, MDSC, pro-inflammatory factors, depressed dendritic cell function, all that, like a nude mice, SCID mice. So if you take the brake of our immune system, tumor is going to explode. And so if you take the enough brake out, then it's going to grow fast. So I think we have to understand this concept. We're not feeding cancer to grow fast. You know, our body has enough brake system on. to keep it at that speed of growth.
Mhm.
But if we're sort of causing immune suppression so that our immune system don't work well, then we will feel that we're feeding cancer or we're making them grow faster. So
Mhm.
that's my 2 cents on this theory.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. Yeah, I'll more work on it with Minjong and
So work on it,
hopefully-
Minhyung, and you can present it again after, like what theories you are most convinced with and what are the evidence that you found most fascinating.
True. Yeah.
And what I don't is like, oh, it can be this, it can be that, it can be that. Some people have
Mhm.
said that, and I don't know what's true. I actually don't know what's the main driver. That is being very irresponsible. I think you have to
Okay.
believe in theory. If you talk to the Peru, they're like, they believe in one core factor, facts.
Mm. Agree.
So you talk about Jimmy Carter, who was an ex-US president, got Nobel Prize. What is like, if you choose one single humanity problem on this earth, what is it? So that's like the same thing. What is the main driver of hyperprogression? It's the same question. But if you know enough, if you thought about
Right.
it enough, you can choose one thing. Oh, it's a combination.
Right.
If you don't know, ask your attending. If they don't know, they'll tell you it's multifactorial.
I see.
I
Yeah.
say that you can say that as an answer for everything, but that
Right.
should
Right.
be your answer. You have to kind of get to the bottom and find the core issue. Well, Jimmy
Yeah.
Carter thinks it's the gap between the richest and the poorest. That is the core. What he says is the core issue of today's many of today's issue. Not the weather issue, not lack of love, but that he thinks it's the root cause. Anyway, I'm just giving you an example. Delve into the cause. It might be interplay of something, but I
There
want
should be some driver.
yeah. So work with Minjong, and maybe after a couple of weeks, just Minjong might be busy, so you might have to just present your thought after studying this topic. Okay, I think I've talked enough on this topic.
Yeah. Sorry
Okay.
to yeah.
Go
So-
ahead, Eugene.
Okay. To give you an update, the projects that I'm involved in. So double lung transplantation case report is under review at the oncologist. I think it's been 3 weeks. They said it's under review. I'm not sure whether I have to send them email because I think, yeah, it's been 3 weeks, I think. Yeah. Luckily they didn't reject it first, but it keeps saying like it's under review. And for poorly differentiated thyroid carcinoma case, actually I have a question. So while like revising our paper, I felt it would be great if I have more detailed information about the PTEN mutation itself, because I realized that even like PTEN mutation, there is something we can discuss more if we know more about them. Like, was the mutation in the area of PTEN alpha or like other areas? If we know more about that, I think we can more discuss the mechanism, why this drug worked for the patients, even like for temporarily. So would there be any way if I can get more detailed information about the mutation, other than just right now we have information about this, like P10L194FS.
So if you know that,
Uh-huh.
you can find out where it is. It's in the alpha helix, gamma.
Oh. Okay, so you mean that if using this information, I can know that, right?
Yeah.
So like the so should I refer to more articles to find about that? So here, or would there be any like site that I can refer to? I mean, I can find that about that, but so you think it's enough? You know, to have this only this information.
Go back to, I think I think it's enough. You can go to CBio portal and find out
Okay, CBio portal.
where it is. But you can access the original report, Tempus or wherever that is. You got it from. Tempus
Okay.
or Gardens. They might give you more information about the location and functionality and all that in, in their curated report.
Okay, I'll refer to the report again. So after revising that, I think I'll be able to submit this case report as well. And transfusion survival paper, I have that as a Google Doc here because Seokju and me and Dr. Jiyeon, we kind of finished up the manuscript and all the tables. So it would be great if you can just go over it, or yeah, it's almost ready to be submitted, I think. And cancer screening, yeah, as Juhi presented, it's just submitted. And cancer incidence, I'm working with Eileen and Suwon for the manuscript writing, and HPD still writing manuscript, like as I showed you earlier. And for MRD, I have a question for you. So about a week ago, I had a meeting with Natera folks because they require us to send them the CT scan data to draw a swimmer plot for them. So I can actually show you the extra email they sent me. Oh, he just got back to me. So here, I'm not sure whether it's large enough for you to see, but they require us to send some all scan results that fall within the time frame of Signatera testing. So for each scan, they require us to include date of scan and result of scan. All that is needed is no evidence of disease or RECIST criteria to show PD, SD, CR/PR. So I reached out to Dr. Jiyeon and Jisang to collect this information, but we all agreed on that it would be great if we had more information. So I reached out to them again, requiring more detailed information. So the types of imaging are, because for some patients, they have MRI or like biopsy reports other, rather than CT scan after Signatera or in the time frame of the Signatera. So I asked that. And regarding the time frame, we were wondering whether there would be any time limitation, like 3 months within, before Signatera or after Signatera. So, but then I have not heard back from them yet. So we were not able to start collecting CT scan data. So Dr. Shea, could you give us some input regarding? These are just, possible scenarios that I think of regarding each patient.
We just got the email from Natera. You can find it.
Have you checked?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just got, okay, 1 hour.
So first of all, any external communication you have, always CC me whether I see it or not.
Okay.
Number 2, before you do any, if external collaborator asks you to give any new data or ask you to do anything, consult with me directly. If you're not in the lab, talk to Liam always, and then Liam can grab me and ask me in person. Okay,
Okay.
before you get back to them, like if this is they want, you have to
Uh-huh.
ask me first whether you
Mm,
should be giving that to them rather than asking
got
them,
it,
is
got
this
it.
what you want? Because it's a total waste of your time. If I say we don't need to get that to them, you know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
And it's extra
Understood, yeah.
waste of their time as well. So I'm just telling you how to work.
Understood, yeah.
What I don't want is I'm not CC'd and not updated and someone you were working with asks for such data and you gave to them already. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And you
right,
actually
right.
spend your precious time collecting them.
That's
So it's
true,
all
yeah.
about prioritization. Like why are we, so same thing with your time management. You have to like keep asking yourself, like, am I doing this because someone told me to do it? And how do you prioritize? Like, what is a, priority? And you can say, well, I'll get back to you after I get input from Dr. Che. And
Okay.
you kind of leave that at them. So work ethics, number one, if you get email, you couldn't answer a phone, whatever it is, get back to them immediately. Like, I'm in the middle of doing something, I will get back to you, and give them timeline. I will get back to you in 2 days, in 1 week. I have other priorities. I'll get back to you. And then you have that timeline. Like, because you don't want to work with a collaborator. I emailed them, didn't hear back for a whole week. So I don't want to work with that person anymore. I'm just telling you the work ethics.
Right, right.
You get back to the person within 24 hours, but better is within a couple hours. Hey, I have other priorities. I'll get back to you in, tomorrow, in 1 week, in 1 month. Okay. That way the person knows what to expect. That's number one. Number two, if it's a collaboration, always talk to your manager. Like, what is my work scope and is this priority? Should I be spending time getting this data? For them to ask us to get the RECIST data, I think it's out of our scope. That takes time of measuring and calculating. I don't think it's worth spending time getting them the RECIST measurement for those patients. So my answer is no, we don't have bandwidth to, but we won't say that in our email. What I would say politically correct expression would be, we'll say, or I can reply, or you guys can reply on my behalf. After discussing Dr. Che, we think clinical progression is enough. Like, if a clinician decides that there is a clinical progression enough to take the patient off or switch to a different therapy, I think that is good enough. Where patient is becoming more symptomatic, I don't think we need RECIST measurement to prove that. And the scan result did show an increase in tumor size and multiple lesions. That's it. We don't think there's any need to get the RECIST measurement. And then, as we told you, patient had deterioration in symptom or a growth in cancer enough to change our clinical management. That's it. I don't, do you understand? And if you discussed it with me real time, you would have saved many emails and he would have saved time.
Right. That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I
anyway.
didn't. I
No,
think
I'm
you
just
were there. Yeah,
telling you how to work with,
yeah,
collaborators.
of course. Yeah, thank you for your input. I think you were there. You're in the loop of our email, but somehow in some middle point, I think someone lost you. But yeah, I'll loop you in again. And
So what are other questions?
Other questions? So so do you agree for us to give them the information about clinical course of all the patients regarding the Signatera timeline, like stable or not even that, like?
So Liam, do you remember the actual goal of this collaboration? I mean, my worry is that it's great that they can troubleshoot and learn from these cases. But if we don't publish, we don't, they're going, it's, I guess we learn too, but
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like, okay, they can troubleshoot, but if we stop here and they learn, you know,
I
wha-
think, yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry to cut you, Dr. J, but this actually, the background of this request is that they are making the swimmer plot for the manuscript. And they are in charge of that. And I think they request this more information to update the swimmer plot. So it's,
Oh, this communication is just for the swimmer plot?
yes, about in the manuscript that we are working on. That's the manuscript that Sumi actually started, and I'm working on that. And then I reached out after they saw the swimmer plot that I made, they thought they could update it more, well, because
Can
the
you show me
one that I made
swimmer
it,
plot? Can you show it to me?
um, it's just so basic. Yeah, I put that actually in the poster, CC poster as well.
Yeah, I think that graph was fine.
Graph was fine, but oh, why it works? So in the middle of this poster, this is the swimmer plot that I draw with R,
Yeah,
but I really want to make it more distinguishable, like for the progression and depth, CTD negative, positive. My
yeah, I
plan
think
was
you have to
actually,
color that differently.
yeah, but I, because I need to come up with the code to do that. I was not able to do that, figure out that. So after looking at this swimmer plot, they actually suggest us they can actually make it.
But why do they need other clinical data?
I think so. Here, the square means the time point of Signatera, actually, the black square. And I think they want to just upgrade this information, I think they're interested in looking at whether Signatera can actually be correlated with the CT scan or predict them, predict them closely, something like that. I think, yeah. So here we only have clinical progression and death events and ctDNA positive and negative information. That's all. But I think they want to add each like progression or stable disease, at least clinically, regarding each time point of Signatera done. Yeah, that's my understanding.
Well, I think, I think if I put on the hat of reviewer, journal reviewer, I think there's a chance that they would ask for this. So yeah, I was mistaken. I thought this was for the discordant cases. But if if it's for MRD swimmer plot, then I think the reviewers might want this. Yeah, I think so. I think the reviewers might want this. But this is MRD. Like RECIST is not relevant here, right? Because this is people who got curative therapy and then there's a recurrence, right?
Right.
So you don't need RECIST. it's not even progression. It's recurrent disease.
Yeah, that's actually what Dr. Jisang asked us when I asked him to collect the data. He kind of asked, so where should we start? What would be the baseline CT? So I thought that was a great question. So I think the baseline CT scan or MRI or any imaging like done right after the surgery or completion of radiotherapy, I think that could be the baseline for MRD monitoring. And then, yeah, maybe we can just collect the NED, no evidence of disease, from the next CT scans and report the progression, like recurrence or new lesions whenever they came up. I think, yeah, I agree. I don't think we need like exact RECIST evaluation of each CT scan because most of them will be just NED. And
So number one, we don't need RECIST to determine whether there's a recurrence or not. Number two, we can give them when the CT scans were done and whether they are NED or not. That's simple. That does not require much time. Whether there's a recurrence or not. I think that's all you need to tell them. And what time point Signatera was drawn, all that information is already there.
right.
So, yeah, I think that's good enough for the swimmer's plot.
Okay. So basically, like there would
there's
be no
base-
time.
We are not doing RECIST.
We're
So
not
we don't
doing.
need baseline. We're not
Yeah, we don't
comparing anything.
Not yeah.
There's no such thing as baseline. There's only before curative therapy, after curative therapy, and serial scans. That's it.
Got it.
Baseline is only important if you have a therapy, pre-therapy, after therapy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get back to them like that, and then I'll ask Dr. Jian or anyone who is available for the collecting data. There are only like less than 30 patients, so I think that won't take that long. And yeah, just collecting CT scan data and then NED or not.
No,
Or progression.
I think it's great for Uni. Uni's here and Uni can be part of the team. So
Yeah,
maybe you work with
welcome.
you need to
Yeah, I'll
work on this project while she's here. She can finish it in a couple of days. Not even
That would be
couple of
great.
day, one day. This is less than
Mhm.
it's a half day work.
That would be great. Yeah. So I'll reach out to Yunhee for collecting the data. And oops. Yeah, so I think I figured out most of the questions that I have.
Okay, go back to the survival. How to merge
Survival.
table.
First, yeah, just give me a sec to get back to.
Oh, Eugene.
Mhm.
Let's take a bathroom break. And then I need to reply to some text message.
Okay, of
Paging.
course.
Yeah, let's take 10-minute break. We'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Eugene, will you update the Excel file? For
The Excel
collecting,
file?
yeah, for collecting the Natera data. Because we just need to collect CT scan date and whether it is NED or recurrence, right?
Correct, correct. And I think I already shared
So,
the,
I mean, will you update or just we can use that previous one?
I think previous one.
Okay, okay, perfect. We're gonna
Yeah,
do
no, yeah, we decided not to add any more patients.
that.
So
Mhm. And we don't need to calculate the resist.
yeah, I thank you for extra
Yeah.
suggestions. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
God. Thank God.
Yeah, thanks God, really.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I think I should thank you. Thank you to Jisang and you for
Mhm.
suggesting this idea, like to
Mhm,
discuss
mhm.
first with Dr. J.
Yeah.
And okay, then I'll just reply back to Natera people,
Mhm.
and then could you give me like the rough timeline that
Within
you
this
like
week, within this
this
week.
week, this
Yeah,
weekend?
it is only 30 patients, 34.
Yes, 30 or 36,
Mhm.
no more than
Mhm.
36.
Okay. I can work with it, Yunhee.
Mm-hmm. And like Dr. Jian, do you think, I think what Dr. Jian mentioned is to collect all the post-serial CT scan dates, right? Not specifying the timeline.
According to the blood draw.
Right.
Yes. If the
Mm.
patient got the 5 times of a blood draw, then we need to 5 times of a CT scan date.
What if, okay. Okay, just please reach out to me if you have any concerns. Like my guess is if there are multiple CT scans for just similar time period, whether do we have to collect all the data? Like I'm just wondering what if that happens? Like if there are not like
Then maybe we should select the closest one.
closest to
Yeah.
one each
Yeah,
blood
sure.
drawing. Okay.
Because we need to match them. We need to
Correct.
match
Okay.
between
Mhm.
image and blood draw plus
Mhm.
result. So
Yeah,
we
right.
need to select.
Yeah, and just one more thing would be actually when I collected the data,
Mhm.
the maximum time points was 5 times per each patient. But
Oh,
because we
yeah.
but because the time has extended, I
Mhm.
noticed Natera added a few more time points. So I noticed on
Did
the
they
last
add it?
column, yeah,
They add?
the time points. Yeah, they added the time points of blood draw because patients are regularly taking out blood. So I noticed even like for some patients, there are 7 time points of Signatera. So
But it's not in previous Excel file.
no, it actually it is in the data file. It is in the data, but it's in the same like column. They put like 3 dates in the same column. So I think I have to separate them to each column.
Okay, do you
So-
have the updated file that they
Mhm.
add the column?
Yes, it's already in the data.
In
It's
email?
already in the Excel. Yes. So
Let me find
are you
it. No,
actually
it's not in email.
it's not in the email. Okay, so
Mhm.
I will. mm, Oh, actually, Jian,
Mhm.
can you tell me your Gmail or the email that I
Oh,
can share
yeah.
the
J dot
J dot, oh,
LEE.
KNUH Gmail.
Yes, exactly.
I actually, yeah, I prefer to use like the Excel file with the
Mhm.
password, but just for this time, I will use the Google Sheet. So I just share the Excel file and a Google spreadsheet file with you.
I can see. Yeah, I got it.
You received it? Okay. So if you look at the column BS, it's pretty in the backside.
Okay.
This column that I just checked
Mhm,
here,
mhm.
originally there was only one time point when I collected the data. But
okay.
if you look at the row,
Oh,
fourth row, like they added a few time points
Mhm.
they detected.
do you want to make another column
Yes,
in
yes.
terms of
So
a
I think
city 6?
so like it could be like Signatera,
Mm-hmm.
Signat, and right next should be, but not for all patients. It's just for a
Yes,
few patients.
several. One, maybe
Mhm.
less than 5.
I hope so.
Oh yeah,
So like
there are
Mhm.
5. Yeah,
there are 5. Okay.
Mhm.
So something like this. Before collecting all the data, I think we should first separate each data, each time frame, time point.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I noticed, patient in number 10 row, like he or she has even like 3 time points. So there should be another.
Mhm. Okay.
So you can actually modify the column name as
Oh,
you
uh-huh.
feel convenient.
Okay.
Yeah, so please feel free to do that.
All right.
And I think they thankfully mentioned the number if the Signatera was positive. So we can assume that, but I mean, it's always good to double check if you can. But yeah,
Okay.
for this patient, I think it was not positive. So they also like
Mhm.
wrote down the exact number.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah. This case should be recurrence.
This patient is very interesting, but I think his recent CT scan was done in October and it was
Mhm.
NED. So very interesting. They are very curious
Oh.
about this patient.
Oh.
Yeah, Signatera detect the MRD. They kept asking about this patient. So we checked multiple times, but yeah, he's okay, thankfully.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, right? It's good for him.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm. Oh, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're done.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So you can actually share this data sheet with Uni if you
Okay.
can.
Uh-huh. All right. Do you have a Gmail? Can you type it over here? Well, actually, I don't have a right to add the Yunhee
Oh,
in this
okay,
file.
okay.
You
I
need
see. I
to.
see.
Mhm.
I will make you.
Can you
Or
type
you can
in
just.
chat box? Right.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Okay. 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 I will.
I got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Dr. Yuni, you can always ask any questions to me or Dr. Jian, but just to give you a little bit of background, so these patients are in total like 37 patients. They received curative treatment therapy for their lung cancer, and they are followed up with the ctDNA monitoring assay which is called Signatera. And what we have to collect for this time is to collect CT scan data correlated with the Signatera time point. So there is already data on time point for each patient when they get Signatera tests. So date 1 or date 2, starting from row BA, column BA. So, and each patient had different times of Signatera tests. So it really depends on each patient. And what you might have to do is to look at CT scan, which is the closest, done in the closest day from Signatera date. And just briefly mention about the results. NED done, but if there is a new MET or progression. Oh, I actually have a question. So,
Mhm.
so Dr. Jian, you may know that even though radiologists read the CT scan as like progression, sometimes
Mhm.
doctors say just go with, keep treating patient with same treatment, right?
Mhm.
Considering all the other factors like their clinical.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
We need to ask
Hmm.
Dr. Shah
right,
whether
okay.
regard as a progression or not. Yeah.
My guess is he would say clinical thoughts is more prior, it is the priority, but if that's the case, I'm a little bit concerned about your workload, because if that's the
If
case, you may.
Well, if there is the case, then I will ask Dr. Check. If not,
Oh.
we don't need to concern, right?
right,
If
okay.
there is, I will ask because I'm here.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. That would be better. Yeah, just to make our lab meeting a little bit shorter. Okay, just go with that.
Yeah, no problem.
So I have a questions. There are like 5 different dates for each
Mhm.
patient. So do all of those 5 dates?
Right. That means
Okay.
they have 5 times of blood draw, and then
Uh-huh.
Signatera wants us to put each time, CT scans for each time point. So
We want to
Mm,
match the imaging with is the real progression or not.
mm,
The signature of blood draw.
oh, and yeah, don't forget to collect the CT scan date as well.
yeah, I see.
Yeah. I'll make the column for that.
Mhm.
Mm,
For column BC, do you want to write down the summarize of the CT scan, imaging scan?
oh, that's a great question. So actually, Natera people said to me, the more information, the
Copy and
better.
paste,
Yes. So
everything?
copy and paste. Yeah. Um.
Okay.
So if it's NED, just NED. But if there's something like
Mhm.
progression or my
Okay.
guess is at the end of the day, we might just need the most important information, but
Mhm.
still,
But sometimes the radiologists, they write down on the manuscript, but not in the conclusion. So we need to check. We need to double
okay,
check.
I see, I see. Yeah, understand. So if that's the case,
Okay.
do you think it would be better if we have another column for that kind of detail information?
No. No. I think just copy and paste. That will
Yeah,
judge.
copy and paste and then.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
But actually, for me, separating the NED and then the detail information would
Oh,
be better for
okay.
me because I need
Okay.
to
All
actually
right. Okay.
analyze them. Yeah. So yeah, I'll add another column for detailed information if there
Okay.
is, just in case. Like detail.
So what do you mean detail? Because NED is NED. Could it be any detail in NED case?
No, in any case, you can just
Nothing.
leave the
Mhm.
nothing.
Okay. Blank.
But if there's a like progression,
Alright,
then
okay.
you can just write more about which progression happened in detail.
Okay, so you want to for column BC, NED or progression? You want
Right.
to
So let's make column B.
make a
Yeah, let's
category?
make
Okay,
yeah as a categorical variable. Yeah.
okay.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, I'm back to take care of a few things.
All right.
Yeah. In the meantime, I reached out to Jiyeon and Yoonhee, and yeah, we discussed how we are going to collect all the data for MRD.
Okay,
And Yeah, and so this is the manuscript for cancer survivor review paper.
Okay,
And our target journal is Journal of Internal Medicine.
okay,
And I noticed that for the review paper, they actually recommend us to have, oh, sorry. For the review, they recommend us to have 1 or 2 tables, and here, 1 or 2 tables and illustrate figures that summarize important results is recommended. And word count is enough. But as of now, we have 3 tables. So I want to ask you any idea about merging 3 tables into 2, and any idea on some illustrative figure that we can make?
yeah, show me the figure.
We don't have figure as of now, but we have 3 tables. And actually we were working on extra document, Word document, and so I'll just show you the document itself. So here is the table, and actually I made 3 tables, so I think it's too bulky or huge. So table 1 is recent observational studies regarding the relationship between blood transfusion and cancer survival. So format is like this. And I try to summarize key results for each kind of important studies regarding each different cancer type. So head and neck, esophagus, breast, lung, colorectum, and liver, pancreas, kidney, bladder, cervix, prostate. Yes. This is the table 1.
It's too long. And I think
I know. But I noticed somehow the editor can actually make it more succinct if they like modify some columns. And yeah, I mean, but I'm open to any suggestions. Do you have any?
so key results. I guess if you can first say, was there an association, like those response yes or no. So you could say, before key result, is there a yes or no for meaningful association or not?
Okay. So make it into more like a binary column rather than just sentences.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just put some p-value.
For OS and PFS, and because important things you can still write, but it has to be more words. And
yeah, maybe I can combine these 2 columns, like if there is no association between OS and transfusion, then I'll just put, or maybe like,
So actually, one suggestion is you
uh-huh,
make this really that primary outcome.
maybe association with, and just put, for example, in this case, there was no association, so maybe put n and
So
put p-value.
so you so how did you what's the order of the presentation? Order.
Order is
Organ or
organ, and within organ, the ear. Yeah, if you look at long section, 2020, yeah. Yes, organ and then the year of publication.
organ in the year of publication?
Oh, actually,
So then you have to organize it that way. The first column has to be tumor location. The second is year. The last is it's not first author, it's a reference. Put reference, and you put Dana et al, and then put reference number. You're not acknowledging only the first author. You're just referencing a paper. So that's
that's
the
true.
first one is tumor location. Second one is the year. Study
And
type,
then
sample size, transfusion, detail. Not sure if detail is the right word. Transfusion method.
method, did you say?
Method. What does BT stand for?
Blood transfusion and non-blood transfusion, and PRBC is packed RBC. So like the level of detail is different depending on each study. For example, for this, like leukocyte depleted and non-blood transfusion, and allogenic blood transfusion and non-blood transfusion, not blood transfused, or so methods are a little bit different depending on each study.
So it's not transfusion methods. It's
Um,
what is LD?
LD, leukocyte depleted. Leukocyte depleted RBC.
So at the bottom of the table, did you put that all in the footnote?
I think so. Yes, here.
Okay.
Here.
Okay, go back. study. It's transfusion method.
or
You can just say comparison.
comparison.
What are you comparing to what? It's comparison.
Mhm.
Outcome. You know, prime outcome. Those response, yes.
I think confounding factors are pretty important related with this topic, so
Yeah, you
I
can,
that-
you leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just make it more succinct in not in sentence, but in more words for the association and because you have yes or no for those response, you can have the same for the primary outcome, yes or no. So
okay.
let me ask you, for primary outcome, how many are yes, how many are no?
Honestly, I didn't count that, but there are, but
Half and half?
the trend is that when they actually adjust for the all possible confounding vectors, the chances are low there might be association. For example, like, yeah, when the propensity match analysis were performed, most studies didn't found the association, but I think it really depends on each cancer type as well. For gastric cancer, even though they adjust for any possible variables, there are always like association between transfusion and worse like survival outcome. So it's really hard to sum up the results
Yes or
in
no?
general. Yes.
So did you
So
separate multivariate analysis or versus none?
no, I actually didn't separate them or like reorganizing them, but in the manuscript itself, I try to point out the results from, not separating, but distinguish them depending on whether the results without considering confounding factors and how it is different when we consider confounding factors. I wrote that results in each different major cancer that I described in manuscript itself, but not in the table.
So let me tell you this. The reason for table is you want to see this and that, all in logical terms. Like if you have to read the whole sentence, you'd rather read the text. So my argument is that if you have a propensity match analysis or something that you know I would say association I don't know if the raw is the right word. I guess just the association by primary analysis and adjusted or
Unadjusted or
unadjusted and adjusted. And you can have association. I don't know. Or you
Mm,
can have OS.
yes,
So something like if you have two.
I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah, unadjusted and adjusted analysis, and you have RFS and OS, and you can have a p-value. But it's not just about the p-value. Don't you want to know,
The hazard ratio.
which is not mentioned here in this table?
Right, right. My guess is maybe not all papers report that. That's why I omit that information, but I'll definitely have to take a look at it.
So you can bold, like a bold with the ones that are positive.
Uh-huh.
So this is what I would do. If you look at my video, unadjusted, adjusted, and then you
Mm-hmm.
OS, PFS, OS, and hazard ratio and p-value, and you can bold the ones that are positive. Does that make sense to you?
Right. Yeah, it totally makes sense. But I might have, yeah. Um,
And if you
but
have,
then,
if
Mhm.
you have subgroup analysis, then you can, make more tables like, like this. The hazard ratio, you can make more rows for subgroups. Like you can,
I don't think there is a subgroup for this paper, but
well, there is here, right in the middle, subgroup analysis.
really?
Like y'all already found
Oh,
right above that.
okay, okay, yeah. I mean, sometimes they just mention they did subgroup analysis, but they didn't report the exact like the
Early-
figures. But
Early stage young cancer patients.
oh, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, oh, got it. Yeah,
So
my
what
bad.
I'm saying is you can make everything into table, like
Mm,
not as a sentence.
okay,
And only
Yeah.
the positive ones, the hazard ratio and p-value can be bolded.
got it. I see, I see. Okay, I will modify this table to fit that format. And I think the second table is also in this kind of format, and it's actually the sum of the results from meta-analysis. And I think I can combine these two tables into one, I think.
Show me how big this table is, table 2.
This table. So here, one difference is there's no column for confounding factors, but because I noticed that compared to the cohort or case control, like no case control, but individual studies, not many meta commented on that part. So and this table is also 4 pages.
Yeah, same thing. You should reformat this table as I told you, with just like the table 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the order should be the same way. Order of the columns should be the same way.
Mm-hmm. I see.
But this is
And the last,
long
yeah,
enough.
and the
Don't
Mhm.
merge. Just submit it as 3 tables. 1 to 2 is recommended, that is not mandatory.
got it, okay.
If they say
Okay.
merge, then remerge.
Okay, and then the last table is not that long. It's about clinical studies evaluating potential biological mediator in transfusion stream, actually.
Same thing. Make that reference cancer type first. Year.
Okay.
Yeah, and the
And
rest,
then,
the reference is last.
okay.
So these are the blood biomarkers, right? All found in the blood
Right, right.
and blood of the recipient, right?
I think I made it a little bit confusing. So if you look at the sample size column, there are mostly two numbers. So it indicates patients who received blood transfusion and who did not in sequence. So for example, for this study, there were 11 patients who received blood transfusion and 11 who did not. But for these two studies, they only looked at the patient who received blood transfusion.
Okay. Okay, as long as you say that, it's okay. Well, I would say in the sample size, you have to say number received transfusion over not received or something. You have to say it because people,
Okay.
yeah, so don't use acronym. The people don't
Right,
know.
right, right. It's just, yeah, I will modify it. Yeah, just for the concept.
Okay,
Mm,
yeah, I think it's okay. Well, the figure is
Okay.
recommended, but you don't have to have a figure.
Okay, I will just go for it. As of now.
If they said you have to make a figure, then we'll make it. It's only recommendation.
That makes sense. Yeah. And for the manuscript itself, do you want to have a look at it right now or?
So is it all done?
Yes,
Okay, send me the link.
I will. Yeah.
Do you have a link?
Yeah, I will quickly upload the link to the chat box. Did you get the link?
Yeah. And share it to everyone.
Mm,
Okay, you see it?
yes.
Okay. So are we saying it is related? Because you're saying it is accepted that.
Um, so actually we didn't make a conclusion in terms of whether it is associated or not. Mostly, most papers like say that still needs to be elucidated, or it needs to be studied more, but
So what was the reason we didn't do meta-analysis for this?
first one is we didn't actually search all the potential studies. We only, so to do meta-analysis, we have to start from actually like selection of all the potential like studies, right? But the way we came up with the studies listed in the table is not through that comprehensive, search from Embase or PubMed. We just, I just look up some studies, not using search term, not using thorough search terms. So, and it was not originally intended for meta, so we didn't actually start from that point.
Okay.
Yes.
What is SC? What is this?
Where?
Here.
Could you actually highlight where you are? I think
I did. You don't see it? You don't see my cursor?
your cursor is purple? Oh, I'm sorry, like.
You
Mm.
don't see my
Oh
cursor?
yeah, SP, yeah, that's kind of a abbreviation. We said that. Oh, sorry, I think I should have deleted that. I see 1, 2, 3. That's left by Seokju Cho. Yeah, you can just delete that.
So because this is a text, you could make this, you don't have to make this a bullet point. Because this is not table nor figure.
Mm.
You put that, includes
Okay.
is that for the title, it's not consistent, like I and B, he is not capital, and in other places, they are leukocyte mediator, these are all capital letter, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, right.
I would
Make it-
just capitalize the first letter and make everything else small letter.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, okay. Okay.
Okay, maybe I'll ask Liam, sufficient evidence has suggested.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
I think we should just keep it simple. Probably
Yeah.
just say blood transfusion may promote tumor progression and recurrence.
Right, exactly. Make it succinct.
Got it.
I can read over the manuscript later on.
Yeah, because I think some of these sentences are not reading well.
Yeah.
Let's work on, yeah, help Eugene. The things that are written are good, and they have been discussed before extensively, so it's all in there. I think you should just make it read more smoothly and just submit it. I think it's good for submission.
Okay, I'll reach out to Liam.
Mm.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's all I have for today.
So same thing, Jian, you can read and Liam, you can proofread for her. And you can submit. Eugene, it's ready.
Understood. Yeah, I will update you with all by next week after hopefully revising the table and then after submitting it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry for taking up too much time. Yeah, I'm done for today.
Okay, Jian, can you go next?
Yes. I have a lot. No. Let me start with the double lung transplantation. So we got the data from the international registry last Friday. So yesterday, Jay extracted the data. I think within this week, I can make a statistical analysis to figure out the result. And so the table 1 is consisted with the pooled analysis with the case review, case series, and table 2 could be the UNOS data, and table 3 could be the international registry. And firstly, I want a quick question to Dr. Chang. Could it be all right? The hazard ratio uses 2 digits of decimal, but p-value uses 3 digits.
Yep.
Okay.
So what was significant? Just age?
There was just CDP in recurrent, not overall survival.
Oh, but what about the age? Oh, age was not. Well,
Age not, it was not. I just asked you the digit. Mhm.
rated red, okay.
Okay. So let's move on to table 2. About the cause of death, actually, there are many different causes. So can I make a little bit briefly, make a category, just write down as malignant, whether it is metastatic or primary? Or do you want to still leave them in detail?
What's the difference? Malignancy primary?
Yes, there is primary and there is metastatic.
So what is the difference?
I don't know, just from the data, they just input like this. These are just extracted from the as the Excel file.
Yeah, and then we don't know if that malignancy is in the same, like, is lung transplant, so is the malignancy in lung or outside lung?
But this patient didn't have any other malignancy. But from this patient had other cancer,
Huh?
so maybe we don't know. This is the only patient who had another malignancy except skin cancer. But the cause of death was not malignant.
So I guess, is there any way to know if there's the person died of lung cancer versus non-lung cancer?
Do you want me to ask to UNOS again?
They gave you everything, right? So
Yes,
there's no,
and these are all. Yes.
right, cause of death.
Mhm.
So I don't know if primary means lung cancer and metastatic is, I don't know if metastatic means lung cancer can have metastatic sites, though.
Yeah, I thought that because of lung cancer, the patient died, but the patient had respiratory failure because of the lung cancer, then it could be the malignancy with primary. But if the patient had cerebral metastasis and then died, it could be the metastatic malignancy. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but we don't know. We're guessing,
We
right?
don't know. Yeah, I can't be sure.
Huh. Yeah, because, well, at least we should do our due diligence, meaning ask them, what do you exactly mean by malignancy, primary and metastatic?
Okay.
Do you mean primary meaning lung cancer came back, or primary
Mhm.
meaning, patient died of lung failure because of cancer? But like what does it really mean? And if they don't have good answer, just
Mhm.
and just put malignancy.
Okay. I will ask them.
Okay.
Paper 3, I will mark it. And let's see. Supplementary table. This is the one reference that I couldn't distinguish whether which case was done with a single or a double.
Single or double.
Yeah, they use the international registry in this paper, but they didn't describe in detail which cases were done single or double. They just combined and then made the over survivor, recurrence-free survivor. So I'm not sure I still can use this reference in this table.
Oh,
This is the problem, 9 cases of single lung transplant.
oh. And the next paper is same?
Yes, there is same issue. And they use the UNOS data and they use the international registry. But still, this table is just a supplementary table. It is not much important in our paper.
Oh. Okay. If it's supplementary, then you can just leave it.
All right, okay.
And then maybe both
Mhm.
papers put asterisks.
Mhm,
Like in the footnote,
okay,
say these studies have not
uh-huh,
only have pulled
uh-huh,
out something.
I will. Hmm. And these are our cases. Because the follow-up period was not long, as much longer than other references. Can we just put them without any period?
Mhm.
Can we just use it 100%? So
But we have to put some period, I guess.
it is a 5 months and 15 months.
Yeah, 5 months and 15 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fine. 5 and
All right. And this is the figure updated from the Sam and me. I just summarized the first cases.
Yep.
And actually in 1988, the Patterson used the MBLOC, which means non-sequential technique. And then after that, many surgeons reluctant to use the CPB because of a bleeding tendency and graft failure, etc. So they didn't use it in this period, and then they found that the sequential procedure is not good for the lung cancer, just like Ankit Bharat. So in these days, they use the CPB again for the lung cancer to perform the lung transplantation, the lung transplantation.
So 2004, metastatic in where, do you know?
It was mediastinal and what down bone net.
Bone.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to that patient?
The patient lived alone about several years.
Hmm. So patient was still getting chemo or after transplant?
Oh, they didn't describe after that.
So I guess what's the rationale for metastatic lung transplant? I think people will have a question about this,
Mhm.
like why this was done? Maybe, maybe can you pull up the paper?
Oh, that was the case of metastatic leiomyosarcoma.
Oh, not lung cancer?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you
So that-
want to
So that did you
send out?
say, but with only lung
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, only lung. Metastatic lesion was the only one.
then you can still put it there, like patient with lung only
Mhm.
metastatic, lung only metastasis,
Mhm. No, only metastatic. Okay.
lung only metastasis, in a patient with lung only metastasis,
In a patient with a leiomyosarcoma.
in a patient with leiomyosarcoma, resected or removed, surgically removed, or removed leiosarcoma, with lung only metastasis, surgically removed leiomyosarcoma, patient with lung only metastasis. Yeah.
And what about the box
So-
2021?
So that patient lived like 4 or 5 years. And when, do you know what the patient died of, or you don't know? This case, 2004.
Mm.
Because that's why we have the lung metastasis cohort within our protocol.
Mhm.
And 21st, you put the COVID to COVID.
Yes.
What does that mean?
COVID patient. I mean,
But why did you put COVID to COVID?
because it was performed by Ankit Bharat. I just wanted to.
No.
show-
Why is this expression used? Are we giving COVID lung to COVID lung? COVID patient?
Yes, yes, COVID patient to COVID patient.
So a COVID patient who recovered and has normal lung,
COVID patient. Donor and recipient both were COVID patients.
so what was the rationale for choosing a donor that is COVID positive? It could have been non-COVID normal lung.
Yes, actually, I just found that from the news because Ankit Bharat didn't make any case report.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well-
He just got the interview and there were several news that was the first case in COVID to COVID, but I don't know why he chose the donor as a COVID patient.
Yeah, I don't think there's any benefit choosing COVID positive lung as a donor. I think it could be COVID negative lung. I think it doesn't.
Mhm.
because your immunity is in the blood. You got
Mm,
COVID,
yeah.
you get immunity, it's in your blood. So my point is, I think he published his experience of COVID lung transplant. Did he publish? No?
Oh, no, I couldn't find. I don't think so.
Oh, maybe just the JAMA paper, JAMA network paper. So I guess the more I think about it, it's okay to mention that double lung transplant in our center has had made breakthrough in transplanting COVID positive patients.
Mhm.
It's okay to use that, but if you didn't publish any of the COVID cases, I know it's in the news and media. You can cite the newspaper article. You can do that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I will double check, and then if there is nothing, then I will use it. Okay.
But I think for this, what is the title of this figure?
Oh, this figure is just a history of double lung transplantation.
Right. So this is not lung cancer. So you can take that out from the figure. It's not because
Oh,
it's
okay, okay.
not relevant for by the title. Now, my question is next, invasive mucinous. So until last year, you did not find anyone who transplanted invasive mucinous?
No.
It's all bronchoalveolar?
Mm-hmm. Or Lapidi. Please
Or
don't mute. I didn't cross it.
Not invasive mucinous. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to use the term stage 4 or bilateral?
Bilateral.
Bilateral.
Yeah. And you can put, because he did the transplant, you can put Barat et al. But yeah, just to be consistent, Barat et al.
Okay.
And I think Dr. Barat's name is misspelled.
Oh, really? Okay. I will check it.
Okay, I think everything else is okay.
Oh, and Dr. Che, for that figure, did you want to like specify for Dr. Barat, like, did you want to specify non-sequential or use of CPD?
I mean, we're just using, we're just acknowledging the pioneers. Someone else has done it before, right? So,
Yes,
yeah.
1988.
Yeah.
And 1978, they already used the ECMO.
So, Dr. Lee, ECMO versus CPV, what is the difference?
I'm still studying, but there are several articles comparing both methods. Still, in my knowledge, I think they were similar, but the researchers said that is totally different.
Really?
Yes, yes. And even there is a conclusion that the CPB is superior than the ECMO. And some articles says ECMO is better than CPB. So still, I need to study a little bit more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then we have to ask Ankit, I thought we did ECMO for our patient.
Yeah, but the role is similar.
I
for-
think, yeah, why don't you study that? And then also we need to find out, you know,
Mhm.
did Curie get, because I think we used CPD in our abstract or something. Did we use,
Yes, yes. But still, many articles still use only the CPB, which includes the ECMO.
right?
So, yeah,
Yeah,
well, I think the CPB is a more bigger
Broader.
concept than the ECMO.
bigger concept, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we can use the CPB.
Okay,
But in 1978, this Netherlands used the ECMO in his title of the article, so that's why I used the ECMO.
okay. Yeah, but yeah, study what the difference is and let us know in
Mhm.
next
Okay,
meeting.
all right. Well, still, lung surgery is not easy for me. Okay, let's move on to figure 2. I changed the character and the bold type, Arial style. And is that okay with this? And this is a figure 3.
Okay.
Actually, I couldn't find the exact method to make a cancer-specific survivor, overall survivor together from the SPSS. So I just merged in the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay. So the first one is just overall survival. The second figure is people with lung cancer. What is overall survival?
Mhm.
Cancer specific survival. Okay. Okay, I think it's good.
And I'm writing an article. I'm in this section.
Mhm.
Still, I need to study about the CPB and ECMO more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's move on to the next project. It is the ctDNA with the horticulture one. And ILB will be completed within this week. And I want to show this e-template that Predison gave me. Yeah, now I'm filling out this file. And this is not important. They asked me to provide the clinical data right now. Do you want to send it right now or after the result came out? Then
So clinical T, clinical N, I think that's fine. It's
okay.
yeah, those are
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. Then I will send it. And maybe the sample will be shipped on 3rd of December.
Hmm.
As soon as possible. Okay, and that will make 3 slides. We'll send it to us or the LUNET. We'll let them know. move on to quarter two.
Yeah.
This is for Delphi and 3 different procurement company. I'm not sure which company is interested in this study. Liam, do you have any idea?
Do you have any update?
On the breast cancer, no, they're all having internal discussions and said they'll let us know.
Okay.
So let's go one by one. Where is Delphi? I think we're having teleconference.
Yeah, we have a meeting with them tomorrow, I believe.
Okay, then we'll figure out. Where are we with Biodesics? They're not interested? They are, or
No, they are, they're still discussing it internally.
internally? So follow up. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
need follow up. Are you interested? Let us know. Need more teleconference. We're happy to do it. Just let us know. Interven, they're not interested, right?
No.
Yeah, so Interven is out. And then Bertis, where are they?
They are interested. I'll have to check on the exact status.
Yeah. Not the, I mean, lung, there's MTA they're working on, but for this, yeah. Let's work on it. Just email them, CC me, you know, what can we do to expedite? Are you interested? And you know, all that, yeah.
Patricia, do you want to run another IRB protocol for this study? Because I don't think the another one. Because Delphi is just the same study, but different method, which means the study is about the ctDNA, but proteomics, this is kind of different.
Yeah, in your IRB, did you just say ctDNA or did you say and other biomarkers?
I think it's just ctDNA,
Hmm.
but I can revise
Yeah,
them.
just I would say just revise and
Mhm,
ctDNA and other biomarkers, including protein
mhm,
markers.
mhm.
And everything else is really same.
Okay,
Yeah,
Right.
just revise it and get the revised protocol approved.
okay. And this week I want to get the final approval first, and then proceed the precedent study because we still have time.
Yeah,
Then I will revise them about it.
yeah.
Okay.
But even before you revise, I think it's fine to send to the proteomic companies under
Oh,
that.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Just for formality.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. Oh yeah, when
And-
you revise, you can say the tissue, you know, biomarkers.
Yes, yes, later.
Yeah.
Because right now the pathologists are just watching my RRB right now. So yes, I thought about that, but not this time, I think.
Yeah.
All right. This time. Okay, later. I will do that. Okay, next project is Lunit. So after we get the slide, or we can send them directly to the Lunit from the predecessor. And the problem is whether we can investigate the TILs, TLS, tumor building, all of them. Oh, today I have a presentation about the tumor budding, actually.
Yes. I think it looks good, but you can, but just make it the role of, different, various, markers or various predictive factors, including various, markers, predictive markers, including that way we can look at other things, later on. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right, okay,
Not just say these, only these.
okay. Mhm.
Okay.
And this is about the B-cell article.
Yep.
And okay. Here I use the Elsevier Find Journal program,
Yep.
and I just input the title and abstract, and they that way gave us the candidate. Yeah, sometimes I use this. There's 48 journals requesting your paper, but most of the papers
Yeah,
fee were so expensive. Anyway, we can just take a look.
yeah.
Answer. So when you click this, and you can see the impact factor and general scope. Okay, this is taxometric score is very high actually, but it was still so expensive, so we're gonna skip it.
Wow.
When you click this, you can see impact factor is really still expensive. Skip it. Yeah, in this process will make me helpful to find the journal. Mhm. So now I'm considering about the +1. Now the +1 impact factor is only 3.4. It was more than 5, 2 or 3 years ago, but now it decreasing. It is decreasing now.
Oh,
But the fee was only $1,800.
oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 1,000 and
Very,
1,000. Yeah,
very
I think
interesting.
it's not bad.
There's +1 and is there plus? What is this paper about? There's plus immunology, or is it not genetics?
Plus genetic.
Oh, okay.
Pathogen. No.
Pathogen.
Yeah.
I think
There are
plus
data.
one is a nice
Mhm.
low hanging fruit.
Mhm. Or
Frontier?
well, yeah, frontiers in immunology was so expensive. I don't know what is A type and B type, but still, those are all expensive.
Oh, what's the impact factor?
Oh, it is quite high. Yeah, 7.561.
Wow.
Yeah, it
So
is.
maybe it's really
What I say, yeah, 8.786.
competitive. Yeah. I think because we don't have any protein marker, so it's hard to get into a competitive journal.
But still, we can submit. We don't need to spend any money in submitting.
Right. So what do you want to do? Do you want to try Frontiers or?
Well, I'm not a first author of this article. First author is William and maybe Isa, because ISO is working on this.
Right.
Mhm.
Helping.
But I hope when we submit first time, we need to focus on the higher impact factor, I think.
hmm,
Mhm.
I can you go to the journal homepage? Let's see what they are publishing.
Frontiers in Immunology. Article.
Original research, immune mediated inflammatory disease and risk of. Bacteria. Oh, so this is just immunology. Signature tumor immune mechanism, candidate drugs. Sjogren's disease. I see.
But when I make a presentation about TILs and TLS, there were many references which were published in Frontiers in Immunology.
Hmm.
So I think they were not just focused on the immunology, but they're focused on the oncology as well.
Mhm, mhm. Um, I think we have better shot if we do oncology journal than immunology journal.
Okay.
So let's do oncology journal. What about cancer letters?
Cancer letter is expensive and hard to get accepted.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, that's my experience. Oh, is that what? Cancer letter journal. Yeah, that's the journal translational oncology. Okay. About the journal. They're not SCI.
Oh, really?
Just go this. Well, I'm not sure. I need to find it. What?
What about PMC cancer then?
Yeah, I think it's good choice. But impact factor is a little bit weaker than other things. Oh, increased 4.4.
Hmm.
Mhm. Okay. As I remember, the fee was almost $2,500.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, let's try VMC first.
Okay,
And if we don't get in, let's do +1.
okay.
That's easier.
Mhm.
Yeah, so let's reformat to BMC Cancer and then
Mhm.
submit to +1.
Mhm.
I think maybe so I don't know how available ESET is. Hmm,
She said she can do that. And she wants to be a co-first author after discussing with it William.
mhm. Okay, so maybe this is something Uni can help out as well. So Uni, just talk to Ether and see if Ether can get your help. And by helping, you could also be the co-author in whatever way you reformat, rewrite, get some updates in the data. And and Dr. Chian will be like a mentor to kind of help you, both of you. But this was all started by William Pei like 5 years ago. But the whole idea is, yes, T cell is the driver of whole immunotherapy, target, but then the B cell, we're starting to realize that the B cells are also important. But we found out from the TCGA data is that they seem to be inversely activated. When T cells are activated, T cells not. We don't understand why. We don't have a good explanation. So maybe Uni, you can read about it and teach us. Is B cell important in immunotherapy? Is there any evidence that B cell plays a role in, when I say immunotherapy, I'm talking about PD-1 and CTLA-4 therapy. Is there any evidence that B cell can do something? Okay, maybe you can do some research on this topic and present at our next journal club. Okay, and that what you have read can help this paper as well. But reformatting or adding some discussion, whatever it is, work with Isir and Jian for this project as well. I think, yeah. Whatever is actively going on, you can be involved. That's the whole point.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
tumor budding.
Do you want to do this time or next time?
Let's see.
Dr. Che, don't you have a lunch meeting?
Yeah, so I think we have time next week. We have that meeting, right? Next week.
Next week we
Okay,
do.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe let's do this next week.
Okay.
Anything else, Jian, about?
I think I did. That.
Okay. Okay, and with Leah, I think we touched base a little bit about what's going on yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
We can touch base on, so in the afternoon, let's get the orchard number for Minjung. And let's just do some more follow-up with the DART study.
Okay.
In the afternoons, but we'll wrap up our lab meeting And see you guys soon.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Chen.
you. And Dr. Che, so today and tomorrow lunch meetings, do you need anyone to be there with you? Tag along.
No, I think it's not research
Okay.
space, so. What is tomorrow's lunch meeting?
Not sure. We'll have to check.
Oh, it's gardens. Okay. Okay, let me, I'll look into it. Yep.
Okay, thank you.